Hey, what's going on, guys? Garrett here. In this video, we're not going to be coding about anything. I just want to have like a little chat about something that's been on my mind when it comes to code and learning how to code. Um, Also, really quick, I didn't want to set up like the camera or anything like that because it's just going to be like a quick talking video. So I'm actually recording this on my iPad, so let me know, I guess, what the quality is like. If the viewing angle is kind of weird. I feel like it's like a weird, like looking up angle. But anyway, so just let me know if you guys like it in the comments below. Also, give it a thumbs up if you do like it as well. So anyway, I wanted to talk about learning so that you could do. Uh, this is kind of like, I guess, the whole point of code. Like, you learn how to code so that you can build something that maybe you have an idea for already, or so that you can solve some problem that you have on a daily basis, or that someone else has on a daily basis, or whatever frequency they have that issue on. And I think that's like the whole point of code, at least for me it is. I just wanted to talk about this like idea because I think coding can be like a very big rabbit hole that's really easy to kind of get sucked into and keep going deeper and deeper into. And I think it kind of leads to burnout and it leads to just not really realizing what your goals are and not really reaching your potential in terms of code, but also just as a person, because I think coding can lead to a lot of really great things just in your life in general. I think also in general is that we generally learn so that we can do something. If you're the type of person that learns just for the sake of learning, I mean, I love to learn new things, but if you just love learning as a hobby, then like good for you. Like, that's amazing if you're able to just continuously do that. But I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, if you just learn, and then there's no action involved in that education, it can lead to burnout. It can be, I don't want to say dangerous, but it can be not as fulfilling, not as amazing as it would be if, let's say, you were actually doing something with everything you learned. The way that I think it's important to get around this, and actually, I would just like to say that, like, if you're starting off, or even like me, who like, has some coding experience with like Python, Django, like I kind of did that, and now I'm learning. Oh, by the way, I know that I haven't had a video on the Python and Django stuff. I actually did record it. I'm just still editing it, and that'll be out like probably later this week or something like that. But I just wanted to make this really quick video. So, I learned that a lot, and then I definitely didn't like reach the max, like the full potential of what Django could do. But there were some limitations and whatnot that I ran into that, I really thought it'd be valuable and beneficial to learn a different technology. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and learn Node.js as well as Express, and I'm going to get to React after I'm done those two things as well. Although I'm definitely learning things, and I can see the parallels between Node/Express and Django, and I think they're really, really amazing. I think I definitely still want to be using Django in general. I really enjoy writing in Python as opposed to, let's say, JavaScript, for example. But there's definitely a lot of things that I do like about Node and Express. And what I've noticed, getting back to my point of the video, is that it's such a big, rabbit hole that I could easily, like, there are so many other libraries and frameworks within JavaScript alone that I could just go and learn, and I would never get to actually building the things that I have ideas for. Or I would never be able to, obviously the more you learn, the more skills you have, and the more valuable you are to let's say a company that would need someone with those skills. But nevertheless, like, that actually kind of leads me to my next point, which is that tutorials won't teach you everything. So in order to like become an expert or level up within a certain technology or a certain stack or a certain part of the stack or whatever, you really need to actually go ahead and build those projects. You need to be building small projects as you're learning throughout every step of the way, so that you can not just understand what the person told you, right, but also understand how things play together and how they don't play together, and how you can maybe make them play together, or just understand like what the framework is doing, what the library is doing, whatever it is. And I think that's really important to remember, is that you have to be building things, right? So code is not something you can learn and then just not do anything with, but still know. You really need to be working with it on a daily basis. Like, for example, for me, over the last like 10 months or so, I've been coding every day for at least 3 to 5 hours, at least on average. The timing kind of differs, like when I have stuff going on with school or whatever, but I've been really trying to put an emphasis on coding every single day, either watching tutorials, which is something I'm doing now because, like I said, I'm learning Node and Express, or actually building something like EVVEREST, which I still am working on, right, and that's built in Django. So I think it's really, really important, because what I knew about Django before, when I just finished the tutorial series that I used to learn it, versus now, after having built a social network and whatnot, it's like night and day. It's just not comparable, and I wouldn't have gotten that knowledge without the experience of actually learning something. I made a video about this a while back, like basically saying that like it's like the difference between knowing a language and being able to actually use that language. It's kind of similar here, is that doing something with what you learn will basically teach you more than you probably originally learned in general, but it will also keep you from getting burnt out, which is extremely important, because if you've ever been burnt out before, then you'll know that you basically don't want to do anything having to do with that certain topic or subject or whatever that you got burnt out from. One of the big problems is that people say, well, I don't have any ideas of things to build. This is, pertaining to code or entrepreneurship in general, because, if you don't have an idea for anything to build, then you're kind of just learning, but then you have no idea what to do with what you just learned, which is, I don't want to say if it's half the battle, but it's definitely a big problem within the battle. And so the challenge that I want to present to you guys, if you're someone that doesn't have an idea for something to build, is to think of 10 ideas every day. It could be like the worst idea ever. It doesn't really matter, but you should just think of 10 ideas every day and write them down. And do that for 1 month. And after that month, obviously you'll have 300 ideas, but I guarantee you that one of those ideas, at least one of those ideas, will be worth pursuing. And it's probably not going to be something that ends up becoming the next Facebook or Twitter, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be something that you're passionate about, that you think other people might be passionate about or have a need for, and something that is ultimately just worth building. And make sure it's those two things. Make sure you think that it's worth building and that you're passionate about it. Because if it's maybe it is worth building, but if you're not passionate about it, then you'll build part of it and not finish it, or you just will build all of it but you won't do a good job of it or something like that. So make sure that it's just something you're passionate about. I'm sure in those 300 ideas you will find at least one thing. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or comment down below with what you thought. If you're not already signed up on Everest, definitely go do so. The link will be in the description. It's a social network for web designers and web developers to basically connect and learn and share what they're doing. So go check that out, and I look forward to seeing you guys over there. All right, take care, guys. See you in the next video. Peace.